Good evening, everybody. Good to see a very crowded room here. My name is Robert Scholte. I'm the chairman of the Apache Maven project. I'm responsible for most of the implementations done for Java9. I've done this talk a couple of times, but I had much more time at that conferences. So this time I've only got 30 minutes. So I'm going to do it a bit different. I'm going to migrate the project, just an example project to Java9. First, a little bit of history. So in 2013, we started with the Java9 early releases, and there were no remarkable issues for when running with Maven. In 2015, we started with the implementation based on Jigsaw, and with the first release, 99% of all Java Maven projects they failed to compile. The reason for it was that it could not find the Java compiler, because with Maven we are not using the command line, but we are using the Java implementation to compile. The OpenJDK was able to fix that within 72 hours, and it was released quite fast. So we had up till now 0 lines of code changed in Maven core to run on Java9. So like I said, I'm going to migrate an example project. It's quite an old project. It was used in the Maven by example book. It's a multi-module enterprise project, and it's using still Spring 2 and Hibernate 3, so it is old. First of all, who has never used Maven? Okay, because I'm not going to explain Maven. And who has never used, has no experience with Java9? Absolutely nothing. That will be hard. Okay. I think tomorrow there's a session by Alan Bateman and Mark Reinhold. They will go into detail about all the specifics of Java9. So I don't have time to explain it, so it will be kind of complex probably, but just follow the presentations tomorrow and maybe it makes sense afterwards. So I picked up this project, this example project, and I did a small couple of changes. So I added the Maven Shade plugin to make it much easier to create an executable uberjar. The other thing is I locked the Maven jar plugin and the Maven war plugin to, in this case, both 2.6, which is the latest of the 2.x versions. And I also added an HBM to DDL to create the database. So I'm working with Maven 3.4.0 snapshot, and you will see we'll have a colorized output. The examples will also work with Maven 3.0. That's one of our challenges we had, and up till now we are able to run all the Maven, the Java9 stuff with Maven 3.0. And I'm using JDK 1.8 and of course also Java9. One of the latest early access releases. So, here it is. It's a multi-module project, and in Eclipse it looks like this. It has a command module, the model, a parent to execute all these submodules, the persist for, of course, the data stuff, the weather service, and a web app. So first, let's see if it runs like this. This Maven. So right now I'm running it with Java 8 just to confirm that it executes still, even though it is a very, very old project. Success. Okay. Now let's do this. Set Java home to no. Failure. All right. So the first thing we see here is that the source and the target are set to 1.5. And with Java9, it only accepts the version 6 and above. So this means that we have to change that. And let's do it here. No, the parent. So here we have the Maven compiler plugin with the 1.5, and what we are going to do is we're going to upgrade this to version 3.6.0, and we're going to use a new element, and which is introduced in Java9, and that's called release. So, okay, in this case, I chose to use Java 6 as the minimum version to run it with, and not Java 5. That would also be possible, but in that case, I have to fork the Java compiler. So, like I said, source target option 1.5 no longer supported. So if we want to use Java 5, we could configure the Maven toolchain plugin, or in this case, if I said we want to stay compatible with Java 6, and we use, in this case, the release 6 option. Let's see. Ouch. Close, but we're not there yet. Okay. So what is the problem right now? So as you can see in Maven, the next Maven version, you will get a much better coloring, which shows you the problem it has here. So in this case, it is complaining about the Maven war plugin, and the actual issue is within extreme. And this is a part which has to do with not with this one, but it has to do with the ability to access fields with reflection, and that's not possible. It's a bit harder in Java 9. So I forgot something. It looks like so. Let's go back here, because I was expecting that it would fail. Okay. I was expecting that if you are using an older version of the Maven War plugin and the Maven jar plugin, that it would fail with an index area out of bound exception. I can show you the reason why. So let's say here, plugin, group ID r.apache. All right. And I set version 2.6. Okay, this is the real problem I was looking for. So in this case, we can see that the Maven jar plugin is having an issue. It has an issue with, well, let's see. It's always looking for the cause, and it's here, the array index out of bound index. It's getting a 1. And the reason behind this is this. With Java 9, they introduced a new version scheme, and that means that up until now they use, for instance, Java version 1.9.0, and they are going to use just simple 9. And what we are always using to detect which version of Java is used, split.version and get the second element. So that's the reason why you get the array index out of bound exception. So this was fixed in the Maven archive 3.01, and that is a dependency for all the other archiver plugins. So like I said, the Maven jar plugin and Maven war plugin, if you set it to 3.0.0, it will be fixed. The Maven ear plugin still needs to be released. It will probably be 3.0.0 as well. And right now there's a vote on the Maven assembly plugin to fix that as well. The Maven JavaDoc plugin has exactly the same issue, and that has already been fixed in 2.10.4. So in general, just look if you hit something which looks like an array index out of bound exception with just one, just upgrade to the latest version of the specific plugin. So we also noticed the other issue, and that was this, the inaccessible object exception we noticed. And it has to do with the awkward strong encapsulation. So it is something which has to be fixed within Extreme, which is not available yet, or something has to be improved in Jigsaw. We could also think of having a specific implementation, change it within the Maven war plugin, or don't create a war. And that's what I'm going to choose in this case, just to be able to, because in the end we are going to only execute the command line tool. So this can be 3.0.0, and we're going to remove this one. Okay, so what have we done right now? So we are using Java9 as the Java runtime for Maven, and also the JDK to compile the application with. We've only upgraded a couple of plugins, and we changed, we replaced the source and target with the new option of release. Let me also explain another strong thing about release. If we have a look at, for instance, this one. It's still saying that it is a Java 5 project, because Eclipse is not aware of this new release tag. But what's so special about this is, let me see. That's not the one I'm looking for. Okay. Almost. So what? Let's avoid. Okay. So what we're seeing here is, even though it is a Java 5 project, the stream method has been introduced within Java 8. And somehow Eclipse is not explaining about it. If I would compile this with Java 8, in combination with the source and target, just being set to 1.6, it would simply compile. But with this new release argument, it will really compile as if it was targeting Java 6 in this case. So if we're going to do it like this, clean compile. You will see that it's saying cannot find symbol. So this is a very strong thing which has been added to Java 9. If you I can show you with so first this. Now I'm again using Java 8, but Java 8 is not recognizing, of course, the release option. So let's change that back to no, that's not a good option. So actually, I think the default is already this value. Okay, so Maven clean compile. As you can see, if you run it with Java 8 and it's containing Java 8 code, it's not complaining about it, even though you're targeting Java 6. So that's the really thing that if you have the chance to switch to that release option, you should really do that. So now that it's working with Java 9, it's time to start with the module info file. Who's aware of the module info file? Good enough. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is you have to specify the modules you are depending on. So it's something like the dependencies, but the dependencies are there to download the complete the dependencies and make them available for the class path or module path. And with the module file, info file, you can specify those inner relationships. So if I run a new the dependency plugin and I execute the list goal, you will see that it will also expose the module names used. And that's very interesting if you want to set up that module info file. It is really using the code of Java 9 to detect, to translate the name of the jar to a new module name. So in normal cases, it is about replacing dashes with dots. So here we have comments logging, and it's becoming comments.logging. So let's start with the model. And you can create a new file, and it's called module info.java. And it's now you have to give it a name, and let's say simple.model. If there were no dependencies, I could execute it like this. So let's see, I think I need this one. Oh, there's still a bug, of course, in it. It's here. So let's see. Of course. Okay. So right now it is saying that it can only execute the module info file when you are using Java 9 as the source. So, okay, now we have to make a choice. Are we going to make this a Java 9 application or not? Well, this is our application, so let's go for it. So we're going to change this to 9. Right. again, a lot of dependencies it is not recognizing. So from now on, it is saying that it's not recognizing the Java persistence, and that's a Hibernate dependency. So what we have to do is we need to add requires Hibernate, and requires Hibernate.annotations. These are also here specified in the POM file. So here the Hibernate annotations and the Hibernate. You see here an exclusion, and that's something that is not possible anymore. So if you want to exclude something, you cannot exclude it from the module. So here we have probably a discussion with the Jigsaw team still. So first, let's see what's going to happen right now. Okay. So what we see is there's a package collision. And this is something about that packages should be unique within every jar. And in this case, Hibernate and Hibernate annotations are both using the same packages. And Jigsaw is complaining about it, gives an exception. And there's not so much you can do about it, not extra arguments or something. So you should really hope that Hibernate can solve this for you. Well, as I said, this is already a very old project. So they changed it, and if I'm correct, it's now called 3.6.9.final, I think. I made a typo, I think. Small letters? You've been using it still? Like this. Oh, also small. Nope. I don't think so. It should be this. F capital, right. Okay, looking better, but now it is complaining about... Right, I still have specified here in my module info file that it was depending on Hibernate and Hibernate annotations. That's not right anymore. So this has become Hibernate.core. As you can see, it will take some time to switch to implement this module info file. There's always this question, can you generate this part of the module info file? Well, this part probably you can, but in this case I have to upgrade Hibernate. But there is much more information in this module file, and that part cannot be generated. So right now we have decided, well, there are much more things we need to change in Maven. So let's do it by hand by now, and maybe we can think about some improvements in the future. So let's see. I also have the solution, of course. And here, this is how it should look in the end. So here we specify Hibernate core, and in case of the model, because this also has Hibernate core and Hibernate JPA. And you have to export the package you want to expose to other modules. Also something you can learn tomorrow. Let's see. So I had to add this part to this file. No. To this file. Okay, so right now we have started with migrating the first module to a Java9 modular jar. And you have to do that for every module you have inside here. So, well, I still have 3 minutes. I was aware that the time is not enough to do this all, but this gives you an example of how you can start migrating to a Java9. Let's see. How to continue? Well, not all issues are related to Maven. For instance, the content in the module info file, there are still a lot of discussions about it. The naming, we now have open modules and we have weak modules and so on. That's not very interesting for Maven. In this case, Maven compiler just needs to know all the arguments being able to execute it. We will also write several Maven recipes. For instance, if you really want to have a Maven 5 of a Java 5, 4, 3, or maybe older, but also want to add that module info file, that's possible. We have a recipe for it on our website with the Maven compiler plugin. That's about it. So that was a very small introduction about all the steps you have to take with the Maven perspective. So in general, it just means that you can still use Maven 3.0, just upgrade to the latest and greatest Maven plugins, visit our website, and that's it. Thank you very much, and if there are any questions, please. Yes?
What about the directory structure? Normally, you have the source main Java, and now with Java9 you have source, then the module.
Yep. So the question is about the folder structure. So yes, in the examples given by the Jigsaw team, they are going to change that, but that is not necessary. So you can still keep your source main Java, no problem. And the reason for it is that in case of Maven, it will generate only one artifact, and with the structure, it could create multiple artifacts. Well, that's not going to work. So just keep it source main Java. That's all. More questions? Yes?
We have the requires on one side and the dependencies on the other. Are they supposed to be the same? Or?
Yes. If you are talking about, there's an overlap between it, but dependencies is about resolving the correct versions and downloading them. And requires means about that they are available on the module path. So it's kind of, it's not exactly the same. Maven has a different purpose than Jigsaw. So, but in the end, what you will see is that all the direct dependencies you specify in the POM file, that should also match the requirements, the requires in your module info file. 30 seconds. All right, I will leave it like this. Thank you very much.